Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Network Merchandise Shop. Pick up your logo merchandise by heading over to abvnetwork.com, clicking on Shop, and start filling your basket today. We are also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for something for yourself, a customized gift, or logoed items for your business gift shop, the Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebar2go.com. That's the number 2 in the Bar to Go. Don't forget our friends at Neely Family Distillery now ship their unique distilled spirits directly to you. To order yours, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we're going to discuss how you answer the question, what's your favorite bourbon? My name is McNew. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guests, Jen Fossott, Kathy Cole, and Tim Swyatt.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Good. So we're going to be discussing how to answer that question. And I'm not looking for a specific bourbon. I'm looking for what's the appropriate answer, because I think most of us that are really into bourbon don't corner ourselves into just having one favorite. That's not how it works. But people who aren't really into bourbon don't understand that. They're like, no, seriously, just tell me your favorite one, because they want insight and be able to go out and buy it. And again, even if they could find it, I don't know that they'd appreciate something really good if they're new. But that's a conversation I found myself in actually last week. So I want to find out what you guys would say. But we'll get to that after the break. For right now, Kathy said there's something she wanted to talk about. What is that, Kathy?
So I want to know, let's say there's that you're out there on your own, right? And you meet this really incredible person, but you can't think of having sex with them because of their name. What is their name? You just can't say their name in the heat of the moment.
Okay. All right.
What is that name?
Okay,
All right.
gotcha.
I got McNew's. It's like, hello, I'm Moist Stevens.
I would do it for sure.
Oh, Moist. Oh,
She
Moist.
meets the guy in the bar, and he says his name's Moist Stevens. She's done.
And he
She's
calls
done.
his dinger snake.
That's right.
Nope. I am just walking. I'm not even polite. I'm done.
I'm trying to think what would be a really bad name that would be such a turnoff. You're not even interested in the person.
It couldn't be my mom's name, so it couldn't have Alice. Anybody Alice, I couldn't.
Oh, there you go. That's a good one. Yeah.
It's
It's got to be.
Guys, like the douchey names are like Brad, Chad, Kyle. Those are all out.
Those are all out, huh?
No, yeah, and if there's like Brad's, Chad's, and Kyle's listening, I love you. You're probably great humans. I'm literally never going to sleep with you though, because I just I'm married. I'm also
It's not because she's married. Yeah.
So
Brad Pitt knocking your door saying go away.
no, because like I know you're a douchebag, and I heard he's smelly. Like I don't think he showers regularly, so no.
Well,
Okay.
what we learned is that many celebrities don't shower at all.
Yeah.
So we have learned this.
Not at all, just not
like we do
regularly.
Like, I'm like daily, like gotta get in the shower. But
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. They're not really into
Well, I
the
think we
hygiene.
know the next small talk topic.
no.
do.
Actually, it's funny. My next small topic was about names, but we'll get to that later. So we're good.
Okay.
First
And
off, for the guys, I mean, your mother's name, your grandmother's name, your sister's name. Number one, I can't do it. Sorry, not going to happen. And then anything that ends with Lynn, Brandy Lynn, Candy Lynn, Jerry Lynn, Mandy Lynn, anything Lynn, just take them down the whole line, because that's just not going to end well. That sounds like a class 5 clinger, and no offense to anybody whose last name ends with Lynn, but that's just not for me.
Yeah.
Steve?
I don't really know what a bad name is, and again, maybe follow along that path of not mother's name. I think that's a solid one to live by. But
So you're going to do anybody.
Cat screamed out her name. I mean, you can't do that. It's like you were created by somebody else screaming out that name.
Oh God! Oh God!
Yeah. I think that's a good one to live by. But for the most part, names don't bother me. And then you can always go, nicknames. I mean, for God's sakes, I'm a nickname guy. I mean, I nicknamed Stephanie McNew. I just said, well, your name is McNew.
I have not been Stephanie in years. I've just been
No, most people, and from this world, most people think that's what she's always gone by her whole life. No, she hasn't. It was just been since she's
that
come
was
on the
like
show.
my brother's name in high school, and I was like McNew's sister.
Yeah. So I was like, this name is fantastic, McNew. It's like McDonald's coming out with something brand new. This is McNew. So yeah.
McNew McRib.
Yeah.
I don't like
So Kathy, you had to think about this though. What did you come up with?
Well, I'm thinking of names like Dudley.
Dudley. Okay.
Yeah, I
What
don't know
about
that I could
Douglas?
be
I don't like Doug's. That's not a sexy name. Doug is gross.
Doug.
Bad.
Doug.
Yeah.
Doug
What about
Dudley.
like a traditionally just very old name? Some of the old names have come back. They've made a comeback. Where Rose and Sophie were like old names when I was a kid. Now all of a sudden they're kind of cool again. But something has never come back, like a Helen. That's a bad one, right?
So I actually, my stepson has a friend named Henry. And when I think of Henry, my grandpa had a neighbor named Henry. He was like 90 years old and he died. But I also think of like a Victorian child that died. So it's weird to have like a vibrant Henry around.
Vibrant Henry.
Herman?
It's weird.
Herman doesn't probably go well.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's any Wendells out there and how much action they're getting.
Wendell's. Yeah.
Yeah.
My ex wanted to name my son Harrison, which is fine, except our last name was Fosnot. And so every male Fosnut's called Fuznut. So I couldn't let him go through life as Harry Fuznuts his whole life. So I'm like, no.
Bingo. That's a whole nother small talk.
Yeah. Harry Fuznuts.
See, now I always thought if I had kids, I'd have twins. They run in my family, and I could name one not so and one way too. My name is cool, and we could see how they
it impacts
their
it.
life.
I love it.
Yeah.
Your kids are going to need so much therapy, but I love it.
Yeah.
That's why there aren't any.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Well, guess what? It is time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start with McNew this time. What do you got there?
I have this Hard Truth Indiana Rye.
Oh,
Very
gorgeous.
nice. Very nice.
All right. I'm out. I fold.
They're coming out with a bunch of new products. They called me today and asked me if they could send me some stuff. Could we do a quick show with them to promote it? So yeah, they'll be on next week. So pretty cool. I've got Buffalo Trace kosher, the wheat recipe. So the wheat are again less than halfway full. So let's see what we got. Nice base going on there, but McNew's still got the lead. Tim, you're next.
All right, I'm going to go with this is a gift from my cousin. This is Mammoth Distilling 9-year Northern Rye.
Oh, nice. Mammoth is
I got that one. This one traveled all the way from Traverse City to get here.
Nothing.
Your microphone setting is
Got to figure this thing out. I am.
Yeah.
You can have like noise
I
safe
actually
or
have
something.
great on Tim's end. We heard nothing.
We heard nothing. All right. All right, Kathy, you're next.
Speaking of Traverse City, I'm going to kill my tiny, cute little bottle of Traverse City whiskey.
The cherry?
Cherry.
Okay. Yeah. No, not there. McNew's got the lead. Jim, you still have to go yet. What do you got?
I can't imagine I'm going to win. I've got some Black Maple Hill, but it is last pour. So
No, not enough. Not enough. McNew takes it. So there you go.
Congratulations,
Cheers,
McNew.
Cheers. Congrats, McNew. All right. We'll take a quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to be talking about this discussion. What should you say when someone asks you what your favorite bourbon is? And particularly when they keep pressing you about it. They think that you're trying to just avoid the question when you're saying, it's not really that easy. But we'll do that in just a few. Hello, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, and I'm excited to announce a brand new partnership with Leatherwood Distillery in Pleasant View, Tennessee. Many of you have perhaps heard of Leatherwood via our co-host on the Bourbon Daily, Kaylee Baker, who works there. Well, they're now an official sponsor of the network, and we look forward to everyone getting to know a little bit more about them. Company founder Andrew Lang brought his brewing and distilling hobby with him during his years of service as a Green Beret in the United States Army. Whether he was at his home base of Fort Campbell or during tours of duty in places like Italy or Afghanistan, Lang distilled whatever was available to him locally. We are excited about getting to know Andrew Lang and his team better via our programming and are planning a trip down there for the ABV Network crew very soon. In the meantime, check them out at leatherwooddistillery.com, where they will ship bottles directly to you, including their special Remembering 9/11 series, which is raising money for military charities. Seriously, get out there, buy some bottles, help a good cause, and let us know what you think. We're really excited about this partnership. Hello, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, and let's talk for a moment about our sponsors, the people that make this show happen. First up is our friends at Moonshine University. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification at their office in Louisville. The information I learned through lead instructor Colin Blake and their team there is something that I continue to draw upon frequently in my role at the ABV Network. It truly is the standard of establishing a benchmark of knowledge of the bourbon industry. From history to production to brands and people, it's all there. Check out their full listing of programs, including Executive Bourbon Steward certification, production classes if you're considering starting a distillery, and much more at moonshineuniversity.com. I also want to talk about Neely Family Distillery. Back in May of 2018, I met Royce Neely at Limestone Branch's Craft Bourbon Festival. It ended up not only being the start of a great friendship, I started to truly learn about what makes craft whiskey so amazing. You see, I had been a bourbon drinker for over 30 years at that point, and like many people who had been drinking bourbon a long time, I was hard-coded into thinking big bourbon was where it was at and craft was on a journey to get there. Spending time with Royce and learning the things he does to make his whiskey taste better started to really get me to appreciate how things like sweet mashing, open top fermentation, pot distillation, and the grains you are using not only makes your product taste better coming off the still, but also out of the barrel as well. I still love heritage brands and they make up a bulk of my collection. But when you find a craft distiller that is truly dedicated to the craft of distilling, you are drinking some of the best whiskey out there on the market today. That's exactly what's happening at Neely Family Distillery today. Check them out on the web at neelyfamilydistillery.com, or better yet, stop by and see them at their distillery in Sparta, Kentucky. And now, back to the show.
Hello, this is Danny Kennard, and I'm recording on the ABV Network.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're talking about how we answer the question, what is our favorite bourbon?
Yes, we are. So I had a couple that said they were into bourbon, drink it a little bit, and enjoyed it. Was talking to them at a restaurant, and they were asking me what my favorite bourbon is. They wanted to write it down and go out and get it. And I was telling them it's, not that simple. I kind of like what I've got at the time. And they were like, oh, what's your favorite? You got to have a favorite. And ultimately, they just kept asking until I, shouted out it's George T. Stagg. And then they started writing it down. I was like, you don't have to write that down. You're not going to find it. And they're like, so you are messing with us. And I'm like, no, I'm not. It's just, I don't know how you want me to answer this. My favorite of all time is one of the very tough ones to find. So how should we answer this question when it comes to us?
I think by asking more questions.
Okay.
So if they're truly into bourbon or whiskey, you say, do you like rye? Do you like spicy things? Or do you like wheated? Do you like sweet things? I think that we ask more questions.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm also going to ask, what's your budget? Because I don't know what everybody wants to spend on a bottle. So if they're budget friendly, I'm going to say, go get some Larceny, go get some Old Foe rye. Go get some Old Foe rye. That's a great rye for $20. Yeah. And if they have a higher budget, I'm going to suggest some other things. So I think our response is to ask more questions.
Ask more questions. I just think that it's the less experienced that are going to be the ones asking this. So I don't know if they have a whole lot of answers.
Maybe they don't. Maybe they just, and then I would give them.
Because if you're into it, right? You know it's.
Yeah. So in that case, I would probably give them bigger brands over craft. But if they're like, hey, I've
something
had,
they could find.
I've had all the big brands, that I'm going to say, where are you? And then try to think of some craft distilleries near them.
Maybe the answer just is Old Full Rye. Again, what's your favorite bourbon?
Old Full Rye is a great answer for anything.
Anybody can drink that one. My God, to me, that one's just like, it's so good, but it's like drinking nothing.
But like if you want to do craft, I think some crafts have like a funky taste sometimes, and that's not a bad thing. I think that's an acquired thing. But if they're into bourbon already and they've already had all the big brands, ask them where they're from and suggest some craft places near them.
What are they drinking now? What do they like now?
Yeah.
Because most new drinkers aren't drinking the high proof stuff. They're not drinking the spicier things. Like I think back to McNew 5 years ago, and she was larceny, and her palate has changed. But if you have someone that's brand new into bourbon, you don't necessarily want to give them a Booker's, that we're just discussing. Like they're not going to like that, but they might, if they're drinking larceny, maybe you move them into a Maker's Mark, which is still that sweeter profile, and they're going to like that kind of stuff. So from the retail side, that's how I would always work it is trying to find out where they're at in their bourbon journey and move them on. Because you have some people who are experienced, but they haven't still tried the high proof stuff, or they don't like ryes, or haven't tried many ryes. So that's kind of the fun when I was in that part of the world of getting them to experience something new that's kind of the next level to move on to.
I just want to be clear though that you are, of course, not answering their question, and sometimes I get angry when people don't answer the questions. We had a show the other day where people weren't even answering what the show was about. They were saying what their favorite of something was that had nothing to do with the show. The show was about whether this is a fad or it's something that's lasting, and they're telling me what their favorite seltzer is.
I always answer when I get that question. I always ask it depends on the day. Like I literally what I drink in the fall is different than what I drink in the summer. Am I having a cigar with this? Am I having it with food? And I explain that to them. Each bourbon is different. It's no different than a wine. I'm drinking. If they're wine drinkers, you drink a Cabernet at different times than you drink a Chardonnay. And if you kind of explain it to them and somebody can understand, they get it. I don't necessarily have a favorite for the season or maybe an all-time favorite I ever have, but overall. It's like,
but I just want to be clear. You're answering the question is, Jim, what's your favorite bourbon? You're answering me with what bourbon do you think I'll like?
No, I say when you ask me what's my favorite bourbon, I'm going to say that's an impossible question for me to answer. It depends on the day. And I'll have that conversation with them then about I like different things at different times of the year or different meals. If I'm smoking a cigar, if I'm,
Yeah.
And then they reach over to their partner. They're like, he's being difficult. What do you think is your
also ask, are you just day drinking? Are you drinking to get drunk, or are you drinking to enjoy it, to experience flavors? I think that's an important question to ask.
If they get obnoxious about it, I just say happy 23.
Evan Williams bottled and bond. Just get lit for $15. Have a good day. But if you want to have an experience for flavors, that changes the answer. Okay.
Should we always say Basil Hayden's just because we want to get them off of our tail and we know it's something they can drink? It's 80 proof.
I don't think that's fair. I don't think
that's nope. I'm telling you, newbies think that's their pappy. This is like the greatest thing they've ever found.
They do.
They can drink it. There is flavor there that's beyond what you find in your normal Beams or Maker's Marks. Again, it's again not anything that I'm drinking at all. So I haven't even tried that toasted. I think we got to give the toasted a try, but I haven't.
The toasted was disappointing, to be honest.
Or was it? Okay,
I've heard that.
Because Freddie said, they finish it's different because they finish in a toasted barrel, not the charred barrel.
We have a new restaurant and the owner loves bourbon. He's great. We tried it there, was very disappointed. It wasn't, for me, it wasn't much different than basic Basil Hayden's.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's
for me. They could be different for someone else.
Yeah. Yeah. Basil Hayden's is just, I can't get into that at all. There's just,
I can't touch it.
No. It's watery to me. It's not my thing.
No. And I don't mind 80 proof whiskeys either, to be honest with you, or anything, because I got a lot of Irishes and a lot of 4 grains or scotches that are at 80 proof that are going to come there, and they have a lot of flavor. It doesn't get out of me out of Basil Hayden's. And so the first thing that I do, like people ask me, okay, so what's your favorite bourbon? Oh, what's your favorite whiskey? Oh, that's like asking who my favorite child is. And you kind of start a little pretentious that way. Mm-hmm. And then I automatically say, well, you have to go with unpretentious from Spirits of French Lick. It's $5,000 on the secondary market, and you don't have to raise your pinky when you drink it. Good luck ever finding it. But I kind of go back to some of the Mark Twain quotes. You know, you got some of the Mark Twain quotes that are out there. It's like, you know, what's your favorite whiskey? Well, the one that you're going to buy me next. Or, you know, too much of anything is bad, but too much good whiskey is barely enough. You know, if heaven does not have cigars and whiskey, I shall not go. You know, you have some fun with it.
Yeah.
But
I think
there's
that
a whole
really
nother.
goes to, like, those quotes are great, but it's like, what's in your budget? Just go buy some bottles that are in your budget and try some stuff.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up, because when I say something like that, like what do you drink as a daily drinker? If I have to go to it, I'll just say an Old Fitzgerald for $17.99, an Old Granddad at $20, you know, a JTS Brown. They're like, oh, you're sending me to that? Then they look at you like, well, I'm not cheap, and they don't understand. Well, I don't want that bottom shelf. It's like, well, what do you want from me? You know, that's the stuff I would drink daily. And do you want me to say Pappy Van Winkle? Do you want me to say whatever highfalutin thing that you see all the pictures of, Bland's? Yeah, of course I can say that, but good luck finding it. That's not a productive conversation at the end of that. But your point,
I see Steve's quandary, because in the position he's in, people do, like, they look to him and they're like, okay, this guy knows a lot of stuff. I want to know what his favorite is so that I can, like, attain it or grow to it or something. So maybe you should, you know, if a BTAC is unattainable, then what's really good that's out there and available at the moment?
Well, I think there's a difference between what's my favorite whiskey and what's the best whiskey I've ever had.
Bingo.
I think those are two different things. And so, you know, favorite whiskeys are on the shelf. I can find my favorite whiskeys. It's not one, but I have several favorite whiskeys. What's the best whiskey I've ever had? I'll never get it again. That Willet 23-year-old Lot C, it doesn't exist anymore. Like,
I might like redesign my business card that on the back is going to have like my favorite whiskeys, and it'll be like the unobtainable ones that I really love. It'll be, you know, good value brands. It'll be good craft, you know, and maybe that's what I do. And then, you know,
well, you can't print very many business cards though, because isn't it always changing and morphing? And
well, I'm popular though. I give out a lot of business cards, Kat.
oh, okay.
You can make the little spinner wheel.
Put that inside of your bourbon assignments book. Put it inside your next bourbon assignments book.
Yes. Yes. Buy that on Amazon. Bourbon assignments.
Yeah. Get Steve to tell you what his favorite whiskey is. That should be one of them. Get Steve to tell you what his favorite whiskey is. That should be a bourbon assignment.
No, I write the book, Jim. I control what goes in there, believe it or not. So yes. There'll be one with Jim in there, especially if we have our store. I'm going to put something in there where Jim's got to get selfies with people. They'll be chasing them down like they're doing to Becca right now.
Yeah.
Oh, and she loves that.
Oh yeah, she loves it. It's so great.
Just want to step further. Have you ever you're sitting at a restaurant with people, like for work or whatever, people you don't really know, and they know you're into bourbon and whiskey or whatever, and they're waiting for you to order to find out what you're going to pick?
Oh yeah,
and like,
I've had that happen. Then everybody gets that.
Yeah,
I've had that happen.
I always choose Baker's. Whenever I see Baker's on the list, I always choose Baker's. They're like, I've never even heard of it. I said, trust me on this one. And 107, 7 years, it's just like they totally open their eyes to something new, and they're like, wow, that was like $8. I can't believe it was so cheap. I thought that was a cheap drink. You have no idea. They're just waiting. So I try to do something completely out of the ordinary that they wouldn't choose. That's reasonable.
Yeah. It's November 24th today. And, you know, I am literally to the point now where I'm going to be getting texts that'll be coming in from people like I used to work with and stuff like that aren't really into bourbon, want to buy for their boss or their friend that drinks bourbon. And there's like a consultation. I don't get paid for any of this, of course, but they're like, you know, what should I get someone? And I'm like, okay, what's your price range? What are you looking for? And, you know, so yeah, I get a ton of those around this time of the year. The holidays, a lot of people ask me what they should be buying for people. So yeah, it is what it is. When you do the bourbon thing, you just get that. So, well, so there you go. I don't know that we solved this, but I think we gave some food for thought with what to do.
I think what we did determine is McNew's right. You gotta inquire a little bit more what they're asking for. And I think, Jim, you hit it best too. Are they asking you what's your favorite bourbon of all time that you've had, or favorite whiskey that you had all time, or the one you're kind of drinking now for somebody at whatever stage
they can
they're
find,
at?
Really. Yeah.
Or give them the top three.
Yeah. I think that you answer a question with questions and you pinpoint something. I think that's the best way to go for me.
Yeah, all paths lead from McNew though to larceny. No matter how you answer anything, just get larceny. Yeah, Yeah.
Try larceny.
I like super premium, expensive. Oh yeah, well then you want larceny. Yeah, I like bottom shelf.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, okay, larceny's yeah. No matter what, McNew's asking all these questions, but the answer is always the same: larceny. So we're gonna have some fun.
We left out store picks. We could absolutely recommend some store picks. Sometimes.
Store picks are cool, especially if you get the right one. But we're going to have some fun with this idea because what I did is I put down 8 different very desirable bottles, and we're going to do a bracket challenge of what your favorite one should be. So we'll get to that on an upcoming show. So should be some fun.
Be fun.
But listen, coming soon. But for right now, we'll wrap this one up by talking about where people can find us. Kathy, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
I'm on the Facebook machine at Kathy Cool.
Fair enough. Tim, how about you?
You can find me on Instagram at swyguy2112 or on the corporate and private tasting events page at abvnetwork.com.
Okay. Did you see that they want to change the name of Facebook to Meta? Who's ever going to call it that?
So they're not changing the website.
I know, but they were changing the name. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but you're going to call it that? Do you think you would ever call the company Meta that owns Facebook? No. It'll never happen.
You're going to called Meta. Something about the medical division that's called Meta. So.
I'm usually making
it's Metaverse. It's the Metaverse. It's Second Life on steroids. That's how we're going to interact with people going forward in this new post-COVID world. I kid you not. Zuckerberg has already said, put your Oculus glasses on your face, and you're going to build your avatar and profile, and you're going to connect with people on a deeper level. It's like, how about you go outside your freaking house and go shake somebody's hand and introduce yourself, for Christ's sake?
Cool lizard person. Have you seen my memes today? Like, he keeps barbecue sauce as a decoration, and we're like, people don't keep that there. Humans don't do that.
Metaverse.
Those in our fridge.
Get ready for it.
Tim, did you get in yours before I asked that question?
I did. Yes.
Okay. Jim, how about you?
You can find me on Meta at Jim Fosnut, or you can find me on Instagram at FozJim, FAZZJIM.
Or just open up your window. I think you'd hear Jim with that microphone. Jeez.
Sorry.
That was the voice of God. You could actually just.
We can't have this anymore. I have to have the loudest mic out of everyone. It's going to be a new company rule. It's coming out. It's that memo will hit the streets on Monday. So yeah.
You always complain that my mic was so soft, so I had to.
Right. Yeah. I don't know what the hell he got now, but jeez.
It became God. Just send him your prayers and watery wishes. We'll grant them.
Yeah. For me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website. That thing's abvnetwork.com. Check it out because everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, and all of McNew's information can be found there too at abvnetwork.com. McNew, do you want to give your plugs before you tell us what we need to know?
I guess I am on Instagram at McNew ABV, and you can find me hosting Bottle Kills and Lost Meals every Tuesday. But I'd also like to remind you to give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, please give us a 5-star review and check us out on patreon.com/the ABV Network.
All right. Great job today, gang. For our audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Adios.
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's chat for a moment about Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you just want to experiment on a small scale on the stove in your kitchen or try your hand at a bigger setup in the backyard, Moonshine Still Pro can help. They have different still offerings as well as accessories and even grains from Goldstone Mill to help you make whiskey on par with what you get from your favorite distillery. They can even assist with a DIY still project by supplying some of the parts you can't make yourself. Check them out at moonshinestillpro.com. At the ABV Network, we're lucky enough to have some great friends. Amongst those friends is the Goldstein family, owners of Goldstone Mill. Goldstone Mill is a full-service mill offering a variety of heritage and heirloom grains. Their unique approach of working with mills around the country allows them to offer you affordable shipping opportunities to meet the unique needs of your distillery or brewery. They will consult with you to ensure the grains you are selecting meets the unique flavor profiles you are looking for. If you are a home brewer or distiller and you're looking for the grains that your local distillery or brewery uses, Goldstone Mill is the place to look. Check them out on the web at goldstonemill.com. Call them at 217-254-6613 or shoot them an email at hello@goldstonemill.com.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.